Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff I Never Told You, production of iHeartRadio. And welcome to another edition of Happy Hour. As always, whatever you're choosing to do, please do so responsibly. Samantha, are you doing everything responsibly?
Bubble water, because I'm on weird medications.
Okay. Very smart. Very responsible. Yes.
And you?
Yes. I have my red wine. I've been lucky recently in what we've got to discuss in terms of I'm a huge nerd.
Yeah.
And I love talking about nerd things. And today we're doing my recap on DragonCon 2025. Minor spoilers for The Last of Us 2, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep, I can't help myself. Okay, so if you've somehow missed it, DragonCon is this huge convention in Atlanta. Next year will be its 40th year, and it is just a place where people come and they cosplay, and all kinds of very funny nerd things happen. This year they had 75,000 people, according to them. It was very, very busy. And today I'm just going to go over some of the things I saw, some of the things I really liked. So one of the things that happened this year was I'm an old pro at this point, you know?
Yeah.
I've been there. I've seen it. You can never see everything DragonCon has to offer, but I feel like I've seen the major things. I had 2 newbies this year.
Oh.
So I got to show them around and kind of maybe wax poetic about my expertise, where to go. And I went to the Vendors Mart. I haven't done that in years.
I just saw controversy about the Vendors Mart.
Yeah, I mean, I've always known the Mart is a mess. And plus, like, how much money you have to pay to get in, where you get placed, how much money you have to earn to make it worth it. I will say we got in this huge line. It looked like the Batman at Six Flags, if you've ever seen that.
Yeah.
Like in a warehouse. We were underground.
It's at America's Mart, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They had us in some kind of parking garage.
Ooh.
It was a whole thing. But we got in and it was fun. And the people I went with, the newbies, they're coming back. And that warms my heart.
Aw.
They liked it so much.
I'm not sure. I don't think we explained this, but like the Vendors Mart is not in the same spot as the actual convention. There is a thing called America's Mart, which has like wholesale for other stores, essentially. And it's like, what, 3 or 4 buildings? It's pretty big.
Yeah, it's 4 buildings. I think there's 2 main ones that are used.
There are like wholesales that happen twice a year and people can get in with raffle and it's intense.
Oh, yeah. It's very intense. It's very crowded. There's a reason I stopped going.
Right. And I know like my partner, the one year he went with y'all, they were trying to get into there and they're like, ugh. And then they waited till the very last minute because they knew people were trying to sell things fast and not as crowded. So just insiders trick there.
I used to do that.
Outsider.
I used to do that because DragonCon currently, I think they're trying to change it, but currently it's a Thursday to Monday situation. And the convention ends Monday at 4 p.m. And I used to stay Monday and I would go to the Mart. And that's when they were selling things at a discount. But that's also when a lot of stuff was sold out. So
true.
Yeah, you got to make your decisions. This year was also a very big year for ribbons and gifts. I know I've talked about this before. People like to hand out ribbons that are very comical. I got some that I don't know what they mean. I hope they're not offensive. I don't think they are, but I don't know the meaning.
We should have a debate about what they are and ask people what do they think that means.
I've been told it's based on the movie Clue.
Oh, I know that movie. I can help.
It's something like, I hate you so much, I want to burn. I hate her so much, I want to burn your face.
My face. Yes. It is a classic line. It is not offensive. You just rage, and then they just met because she could never say it out loud. I love that scene is fun.
Okay.
And it's one of the best comedians in there. But yes, go ahead, keep going.
Okay. I'm very glad to hear that.
I approve of that one.
I was just worried because I didn't know what it was from. And I was I really hope this is not something.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So people hand out ribbons. You put them on your badges. They have a cult of the ribbon, and they have a ribbon contest to see how long it goes. And people have so many ribbons. It'll drop down like 3 or 4 stories.
I saw a video of a dude, and the person who was making the video was not the owner. And they were like, we could never see who it belonged to because it was so long. BT Dubs, this is Miss White's line, Madeline Kahn, who is an icon. She is an icon in the comedy world, but moving on.
Yes.
It needed to be said.
Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad you helped solve this mystery for me.
You're good.
Okay. I had one of my friends, she got a ton. And part of that is like she was handing out gifts. So this has become another thing where you hand out little trinkets or just all kinds of stuff. But she was handing out gifts. People loved them. They absolutely adored them. And so she got a lot of ribbons in return.
That's an art form to be able to do a good GIF or meme and have people love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was so sweet. They were so excited. And people were putting them like all over. You could just find them resting anywhere. It was a whole thing. So that was really fun. I forgot to put this in my mini outline that I have up right now, but I did mention previously that I'm always worried about gun violence at DragonCon. They had a lot more police than I'm used to at DragonCon. And they have this thing where they like peacekeep weapons, which is like they mark them somehow that they're not actually weapons. This is the first time this has ever happened to me, Samantha. I had to go and get my lightsaber peace kept. My lightsaber.
Is there an actual functioning lightsaber that's a weapon? Is that a thing?
I mean, there is a functioning lightsaber that like one dude has made, but it's very clearly not with a plastic thing I was on.
Interesting.
I had to go. They stopped me.
I thought you were going to say your arm, like from the Bucky outfit. Okay.
No, they made me get my lightsaber.
Wow. Well, it could be a deadly weapon. I see it.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, I could hit somebody with it. It would sting mildly. But anyway, that was something new I noticed. Something fun DragonCon does is all the host hotels are themed. So this year, there was a Jurassic Park theme. There was a How to Train Your Dragon theme. But my favorite, of course, was the horror movie theme. And they had a whole wall where people were writing their favorite horror movies. And it was just, I loved it. That was so cool. Another thing I love always, people getting really excited about cosplay. Like people get so excited. So I did go one day as the Winter Soldier, kind of a lazy version because I didn't do the whole thing.
Oh.
But I had the arm on, the basics.
Yeah.
And like people would just like, oh, it's Bucky! And, be so excited. My friend went as this character from SpongeBob that I knew was going to be a hit, and it was.
I love it.
Within 10 minutes, at least, I would say 8 to 10 people had shouted at her, he was number 1.
Yeah.
Yes, I knew. She also went as Princess Mononoke, and that's where she was handing out the gifts, and that it was clear that costume meant a lot to a lot of people, so she got a lot of pictures taken, and she got a lot of gifts, and it was really cute. It was really sweet. And then, yes, I did go as Disco Luke, which is my go-to. And it was fun because I've gotten people, I've like started to slowly get people know what it is. A lot of people still think I'm like some version of Wonder Woman. Or I got Sabre for the first time, which I hear is a wrestler. That's a new one for me. So I still get a lot of, I don't know what you are, but you look good.
You need to have, so I saw a dude with a ribbon that they would mistake his character. So when they would mistake his character, he would say, I'm not so-and-so, I'm this. You needed to have that.
I think so. That's kind of a running joke
ribbon,
at DragonCon is like, when somebody confidently guesses your cosplay incorrectly.
Yeah. Yep.
I got somebody, I think this was a whole mix up, but some guy asked me, "Who are you? I've seen this before." And someone next to him said, "Oh, she's Reptar." And I was like, no.
What?
No. But I think she was thinking he was talking to someone else. That's the only thing I can make sense of that interaction. But I never got to correct it. So he was just like, "Oh, Reptar." Like, no, not Reptar. No,
that is a weird translation of Reptar.
Yeah.
The helmet with the wings. I guess maybe if you were...
I don't know, but I should get a ribbon like that. I've been meaning to do something like that.
I think you should. Next year, you should print one out and then give it to them, just so that when they're wrong, you just have, "Nope, I'm Disco. Look," and then put a little link.
Yeah,
there you go.
I like that. You
should do that.
I would. I had on my DragonCon list from last year, I needed to print a business card where they could scan a QR link. So a ribbon would
be better because people can attach it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a shame thing, but at the same time, a reward. It's like called reward.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Next year, I also need to improve some things. This wear and tear my costume has seen.
I found it interesting when I was watching the videos. I was on the prowl, I will say, for all of any of the K-pop demon hunters, you specifically, because I was like, you're so unique that I was like, surely. I never did see you. I was sad about that, except for like friends of friends, but in just like generic, I don't know these people. I saw one that was the ramen cups from K-pop demon hunter, and I loved it because I'm like, what? That is amazing. I didn't see too much more until it popped up on events, and I saw the sing-along event that happened there, and that apparently was like room full. They had to cut people out, and people were upset. They're like, they need to do it in a bigger room next time. And then they had a dance party specific to K-pop Demon Hunter. So I was like, okay. They had actual memorials for Genu.
Yes.
I saw, and I was like, yes. But I didn't see too many people until I think there was one that finally showed a group of them. I was like, yay. But I saw a lot of like reminiscent costumes. Like that I'm like, oh, they're bringing these back. Why? What's happening? I'm thinking some of it had to relay with the actors, but there just seems to be a lot of throwback. Did I just imagine that?
No, you didn't. And I have my list of what I saw. I do want to note before I move into that, there are a couple of things that I saw this year that I really liked. One is we can always do better. And there were like some instances that were clear where we could do better this year, but there was a lot more diversity this year. I have to say it has gotten better. There was a lot of men cosplaying as women, which I enjoyed. And then there was a lot of kids dressing up, which I always love.
I saw that too. I was like, oh, more kids coming. I did see a perspective. So the little controversy that I had seen was that an art group for vendors came in without disclosing their art was AI. And they've been going to several different cons. And they're apparently a big company in Florida that have been doing this. And the minute that DragonCon found that out, they were kicked out immediately. Because they were like, nope, we can't have this. You didn't disclose it was AI art. And like people were pissed. And and they were really defensive. They're like, well, you didn't tell us we had to, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, I think it's fairly noted for events like this, you have to disclose at the very least that it's AI. And it got public like recognition, and DragonCon being like, all right, way to stick to your guns. Because at the very least, why are you not disclosing it? But that was that was one of the big controversies that I saw. I was like, well, damn, DragonCon standing on business.
Yeah, they've got when you like get a pass, the rules are quite long. So I would only imagine what it's like for a vendor. And a lot of them were very clear, like, there's no AI in this. So that's interesting to know.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting to know. Okay. So yes, let us move into some of the big things I saw.
Ooh, yes.
Now, this being said, I did have a discussion with my friends where I tried to ask them what they thought, because there is kind of a bias, right? Like if I don't know a costume, then I won't pick up on it as much. There is one I'm going to talk about that even though I didn't know it, I was like, this is the biggest costume here. I don't know what it is. And I will talk about that in a second. But so we're going to go through some of my biases for a minute, where these are the ones that there weren't that many of, but I did. I was like, that one. And then we got to start with The Last of Us. Okay.
I saw one.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I saw a Joel with a golf club sticking out of his head.
Damn.
And it was great. And then I saw an Abby and a Joel and an Ellie from the second game and a Joel. And the Abby saw the other Joel and confronted him. And he was like, I'm so sorry. Please don't do this. And she was like raising her golf club. It was excellent. Nice. I loved it. I wanted to see at least one Abby and one golf club Joel. So check. Yes. I did see a lot of What We Do in the Shadows. A lot of really fun takes on that. That's a very big couples costume.
Oh, that makes sense.
I was thinking about like the costumes that always have like at least two people. I feel like What We Do in the Shadows is one of those. But I saw the cursed hat, which I love. I did see an Office Cup, the world's best boss, which I thought was just a funny costume that somebody came as the cup. There were some people dressed as the burglars from Home Alone, and they were hilarious.
I saw that.
Yes.
They were a hit because I saw them several times.
They were very fun because they would go up to you and be like, is it you? It's you. They were very interactive, so that was fun. Also, the people in the inflatable dinosaur suits, they are a hit every year. They come in all different shapes and forms and colors and patterns, and they are amazing. And we were lucky enough to accidentally run in on their gathering. There's a lot of them. Cartoon characters. So there were a lot of like throwback cartoon characters. SpongeBob was a big one. Fairly Odd Parents, pretty big, and very niche characters within these shows. So that was really fun. The Mummy.
Yeah, I saw that too.
The Mummy was big. There was a lot of fun interactions with different mummy characters. I really enjoyed that. And also kind of knowing the lines.
Yeah. So is it his name Odette? Is that the character's
Odette
name?
Frere, yeah.
Yeah, he was actually there. He was
Yes.
actually there. So I wondered if that was like I'm sure they also love this movie because that's never going to end. But I wonder if also because he was there.
Yes, I think so. Like I said, when people see a certain actor is going to be there, a contingent of actors is going to be there, then that costume might be more. But there were a lot of people from The Mummy this year, and they were really fun. They were like quoting the lines, and it was excellent. I happened to run into a Waluigi Wario, just a train of people. It was excellent. There was a lot of Sinners, a lot of people from Sinners. There was kind of a whole like building thing that they brought from Sinners, and that was really cool. Gladys from Warriors, which I knew she would be there. She was there. And here's one of my favorite interactions I had. So we were on the elevator with a family, like 2 kids, young kids. And on walks Terrifier as Santa.
Oh, no.
With blood coming out of his eyes and his mouth. And he's holding a decapitated head. He looks down at the kids, doesn't break eye contact, doesn't move, looks up at the parents, looks back down at the kids, and then turns around. And the rest of the elevator ride was in silence.
What was the kid's reaction?
Well, eventually the parents were like, they seem unfazed.
Good on that dude, though, or the person was like, you know what? I think I've already traumatized them. I'm going to go ahead and move back out. I'll let you go. I don't need to be stuck with y'all.
It was excellent. It was so funny. Like the silence
amazing.
That descended when he stepped in the elevator was epic because we were all like,
that's amazing and hysterical. I love everything about that.
Kids. Oh my gosh. All right, so those are what I would call my biases, what I saw a lot or stuck out to me. Here's what I'll say there was a lot of. The one that I was referencing earlier was Expedition 33 Clair Obscur, which is a French video game. I had no idea. I've heard of this game, but I didn't recognize the costume. This was by far the one I saw the most. I think it's because it's a pretty simple costume to pull together, and I say that with no judgment, but it's essentially like a red and white shirt and a French baguette and a French hat. But my goodness, there were so many people dressed as that that we had to look it up. We had to figure out, like, what is this? So that was number one. K-pop Demon Hunter was really big. Mostly roomies. There were a lot of roomies of all ages. Like very cute kid roomies.
I love that.
And some Genus. And as you mentioned, there was a Genu shrine. So there's like a Skybridge hallway where DragonCon tradition has become, we make these shrines. And that was one of the ones that happened.
The one I saw, they had like $100 bills in front of it. I was like, what? Why?
I don't know.
That seems like a risk.
Shrines, they've gotten more elaborate as the years have gone on.
Yeah.
If you know anything about DragonCon, there's also several cults of DragonCon. The cult of the Marriott Carpet. But also there's the cult of John. And John was a cardboard cutout in front of the FedEx that just turned into a shrine. And now there's a whole cult. There was also a Jesus that got destroyed.
Oh.
I will back away from that one, but whoa.
We had some feels.
It was destroyed and shoved behind a sign. I found it. I was like, oh my God.
I'll leave it be.
Yeah, I don't need to step in on that one. But yes, there were, and I have failed in my task to you, Samantha. I took 0 pictures.
I know.
Of anything. Not once.
I thought about texting you, but I was like, I don't think you'll get it.
Yeah. It's difficult when you have like your drink and I have the gloves and the phone is in the
There's a lot.
and-
You're also a spectator, and that there's so much going on. You shouldn't. You should be in those moments.
Yeah. But I rest assured they were really good, and there were a lot of them.
I saw a lot of Labubu's, which I was like, I did not think that would be a thing, but yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's I saw a lot of things that I was like, wow, I'm surprised you were able to pull this together so quickly.
So quickly. I saw Teletubbies and then one haunted Teletubby, and I was like, nope, don't like that.
Yeah, no, that's good. Okay, another thing I saw a lot of course, Star Wars, but in particular, Obi-Wan Kenobi was having a year.
Yeah.
This was a year for Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I like the Sesame Street ones.
Yes.
That was a fave for me.
It's good stuff. I saw an Obi-Wan that looked so good. He looked like Obi-Wan from like episode 2, maybe. He was getting so many ribbons. He was on the floor and he was just trying to attach all of his ribbons. And this guy, like this whole group, but led by this guy dressed as Darth Maul, came up to him. And if you don't know, Obi-Wan and Darth Maul have a very, they're big enemies. And Darth Maul famously is always trying to kill Obi-Wan and cannot. So this Darth Maul approaches this Obi-Wan. And they proceed to do this ritual. I don't know how to describe it, but they like laid out an old Marriott carpet. They poured some tea and they sat in these seats, and it happened so quickly. Like they just unfolded these tables and these seats and they poured this tea, and this Obi-Wan guy was like, okay. And just
I was going to say, did he know what was going on?
No, I don't think he did. He went with it though.
You know what?
I have a video of it and I'm still confused as to what was happening, but it was a very amazing. Like, I love that you can stumble upon these things and be like, what happened there? I don't know. But yes, Obi-Wan had a big year. Taylor Swift, I have to say there was more Taylor Swift than I thought there would be. Also had a big year. Squid Games, pretty big. And then there was a lot of anime. And I feel bad about this because my good friend Katie, who went with me, she typed out this whole list of anime characters that were there because I'm not that familiar with anime. But I feel like we're going a bit long already, so I'm not going to go through all of them. But I will say one that even though I don't watch anime, I noticed was Demon Hunter. And she was the one that told me. She's like, oh, that's Demon Hunter, which is kind of like a blue-black plaid situation. But there was a lot of anime there, and she gave me quite a long list. So anime also having a big year. Yeah, but those were my big standouts. There's a lot, like I could go on and on about the random ones I saw that I was just so tickled by or impressed by and how creative they were. I did run into Holly, coworker friend Holly. You just run into all kinds of people there that you're like, oh, it's you. I haven't seen you in a while. But I had a good time.
Good. How would you rate this experience out of all the experiences?
I would rate it very highly. I think it's different because we've been doing it so long. So, and also I'm older, so it's kind of a lot more downtime than I used to have at DragonCon. But it was great, and I do love seeing all of the things people come up with and all of the nerdery, and I love sharing it with new people. So that was really fun. And I'm excited that they're already like, we're coming next year. So. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much to you, Samantha and Christina, for helping me to not work during DragonCon. Thanks to everybody for listening to this, all of our nerd content. And yeah, if you were there, if you saw any favorite costumes or anything you want to shout out, if you went at something, please let us know. You can email us at hello@stuffmonevertoldyou.com. You can find us on Blue Sky at Mom Stuff Podcast or on Instagram and TikTok at Stuff One Never Told You. We're also on YouTube. We have a new place to get merch called Cotton Bureau, and we have a book you can get wherever you get your books. Thanks as always to our super producer Christina, our executive producer Maya, and our contributor Joey.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for listening. Stuff Never Told You is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.